Hey team, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're going to be looking at SQL Server's user-defined table types. I'm going to show you how to create them and how to use them, and you'll know as much as I do when we're done with this. Stick around. As you can see in this slide, there are 7 parts that make up this video. In this first section, we're going to learn how to actually create a user-defined table type. In part 1, we're going to look at creating a type of type table. Go to your database, go down to programmabilities, go down to types, go down to user-defined table types, and notice we have none available. So you'll notice here that I'm going to say create type and then some type name, but then we're going to say as table. And as table follows the same principle as creating a real table up here in like the tables, where you have a column name, the data type. Here you can see I'm using identity column. Here you can see I'm using a primary key constraint. And here you can see I'm using a default value in a type. Notice when you say create table is different, right? Create table. Here we're saying create type. So let's execute this. Execute. Come down here to types and refresh. And notice down here in user-defined table types, we have one. And notice we have 4 columns. Those are our 4 columns. Notice that we have a key here, and it's underneath keys as our primary key. And then as our constraints, we have a default constraint, and that is here. So now we have created our type as type table. We can now use this throughout the system. Now I want to get something out of the way as soon as possible. When we say create table, table name, we say column and then data type, or user-defined data type. This is a type as type table. This is not allowed. And I'll execute this so you can see the error that will happen. And now you know better than to try to put a type as type table as a data type inside of the table command. Step 1 is complete. You now know how to create a user-defined table type. In this next part, we're going to learn how to use that in a small program. In part 2, we're going to show you how to use our type and use the insert command to get some data in there. And then at the very end, I will show you that data. So in our first part, we showed you how to create a type of type table, and this is its name. This type has 4 columns. So now I'm going to declare a variable of type payroll type. And then for every table as part of SQL Server, it's, if you will, it's like a physical table. It's like a real table structure. And we can always do the insert command into any table object. So here you can see I'm going to insert into this variable, and it's of type table. And I'm going to put these values into SSN and gross pay. Now, remember when we created this type as type table, I had 4 columns. But the first column, this ID, is an identity column. When I do the insert statement, I don't need this field. It will auto-populate for me. And this is manager is a bit field, and I'm using a default constraint that will populate it with false. False, when we look at it, it'll be 0. So declare a variable, do the insert statement into that variable, and then we're going to print out that variable. Let's see what happens. And there you have it. You can see that our identity column got populated sequentially 1 through 4. My social security numbers were inserted into this object, as were the gross pay, and is manager The default value was false, so that is why that is 0. So now you know how to consume a user-defined data table. That small example gave you some skills. Now we're going to show how the column ID was set to the primary key and how we can use to retrieve that very, very quickly. In the first step, do you remember that? We said not null primary key. Well, you can see down here, we do have our primary key. So that means when we go to create this table and put data in it, the data will be indexed. So I'm going to insert 15,000 rows into this memory. And then at the very bottom, I'm going to select it for just one ID. Now you're going to be amazed on how fast this is, just and the simplicity. Here I'm just doing a little bit of, string manipulations to make it look like a real Social Security number. I'm generating a pay. I'm then inserting that Social Security number and that pay into that table, memory table. I'm incrementing I, and I say, hey, is that I less than 15,000? And then I come down and I just stay inside this loop until we have done this 15,000 times. At the end of that 15,000 times, I'm going to select star from that table where that ID is 1,352. Now remember, this all has to be in the same scope, so I have to go from declare all the way down to line 54. Let's execute that. And you see that we have inserted all the data into that table, and I have just identified one row in that data. Having that primary index on that data made searching very quick. In this next part, we're going to learn how to do the update command on that memory object that looks like a table. Remember, whenever we're dealing with something of type table, see, user-defined table type, we can do the insert, update, and the delete statement. And of course, we can do the select statement. But it's important to realize that this user-defined table type behaves just like a table, but the only difference is it's in memory. So you can see here, I'm going to declare a variable of type payroll type. Payroll type is our user-defined table type. And then I'm going to insert some data. And from our previous video, I explained how that works. Now, if I just execute these from 3 to 15, and then try to do this update statement, this update statement is going to fail because this line 17 to 19 I've highlighted, that's its scope. It doesn't know anything about lines 1 to 15. But I'm going to execute this and you're going to see the fail. It's going to say, hey, what is this? Well, remember, I need to highlight everything because here I'm building up the memory, I'm inserting data into that memory, and then I'm going to update that memory where the gross pay is greater than 3,000. So for these bottom two, I'm going to update that to true. True, you'll notice when we do the SQL statements, will be 1. Okay? And down at the bottom here, I say select star from this. Once again, if I just highlight this by itself, I don't know anything about this variable. Where'd this thing come from? So that has to be in all the scope. So we'll highlight all of the scope from declare all the way down to print, and let's execute that. And notice that it got the data, everything went in as 0. I did an update, I put it to 1, 1 is true, and then I select star from that variable. Up to now, you have learned the fundamentals of what a user-defined table type is. Now, we're going to change courses a little bit. Instead of going to memory, we're going to go to a physical table. In step 5, we are going to create a real table. And we're going to call that table EMP Payroll M. And you'll notice that I have 5 columns. In step 1, we created a type as table, and notice the names are going to be just a little bit different than what we have over here in step 5. notice PK index will be ID, social security number. So what this proves is you don't have to have the same names. The only thing that you have to have is the same data type. And now that our table has been created, we can create a store procedure that will actually take that user-defined table type data, something that's in memory, and actually put it into the actual physical table. In part 6, this is our interfacing from memory to actually physical storage in a database. And we're going to write a procedure that will do the insert statement. You can notice here that my procedure name is proc payroll insert. And I have one input parameter. And it is of type payroll type. Remember, payroll type is the name of my user-defined table type. So this is a memory variable, and I'm going to call that EMP. Now, when we're going to process this kind of table, we need to say read-only, or you're going to get a big old nasty error message. So make sure you put that read-only in there. So you'll notice that this variable comes in, and I'm going to say select SSN, gross pay, and is manager from this memory variable. And I'm going to insert that into this payroll table over here. So here in the final step, that table we created a store procedure. Now we're ready to write the app that will take memory data that looks like a table and actually preserve it into a real table. So here you can see that I've created a variable of type payroll type. It's called EMP table. That is in memory. And then I just have some other local variables that I'm going to be needing to get this program done. And here you can see I'm going to do this 20 times. So we're going to insert 20 records into the table we just created in step 5. And you can see here I'm going to reuse my code that I did to generate the social security number. It's kind of easy to follow. I recommend that you go here and look at that. Maybe there's a nugget or two in there for you. And then notice here that I'm going to insert into what kind of data type is this? Is this a table or memory? Yes, that is memory. And I'm going to put the social security number in there and the gross pay. And I'm just going to stay inside of this loop until I've done it 20 times. So now let's look at where we need to go. Well, now I need to call that store procedure. Can you remember in step 6, I created a store procedure called proc payroll insert? Let's go look at that one more time. Notice it only had one input parameter, and it was called EMP, and it was of type payroll type. So in step 7, I am going to be sending EMP table. EMP table is of type payroll type. So I'm going to be sending that. And now it's all going to be glued together. So now when I execute it, inside of step 6, I'm actually going to do the insert statement. It's actually going to go into this table over here. We're going to have data. Execute. And notice when it got finished, it print these to the screen. So everything is fine. So now what we can do is go down to the last step, and we're only going to execute these statements right here. It's actually going to come from this table. And look at there. We have our data. And remember our default value for the time, the create date. And look at that. To insert these 20 rows, 19 rows, only took, like 1 second. Hey team, if you found this video enjoying, you learned something, can you please consider the following?